I'm Kyle MacLachlan. I'm in the Criterion Closet, excited to be here. Evidently, this used to be a bathroom. So if I need to use the restroom, I guess I'll just find a spot somewhere. So the first one I'm going to pick is Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Steven Soderbergh. I was going to be in this, actually. but it didn't end up happening for the Spader role. I thought Spader was great. He's wonderful and he's perfect. And I love Steven. He also has an investment in an alcohol, Singani, which is a grape brandy, I think, coming out of Bolivia. So I also make wine. And so we get together for cocktails sometimes and talk about what it's like to distribute an alcohol product, both of us in this other industry, and then yet we're involved in the wine trade, in the alcohol business. So there you go, we share that as well. So this is Le Circular Rouge, starring Alain Delon, Yves Montand. And I was like, until I got into the noir, I was sort of like, who's this Alain Delon? What's the big deal about Alain Delon? And I watch him and it's like, the guy, first of all, he's incredibly handsome, but he's so tough. You just don't expect him to be as tough as he is looking that way. It gave me hope. Oh, okay, so this is, I can still reach it. Manchurian Candidate. This is a film I've seen. I saw it a long time ago, but I don't remember it. But it was directed by the late John Frankenheimer, and John was a character. Oh my Lord, he had he had a great career, and then he had some personal difficulties, and then he got through those, and then he was coming back directing, and on what I call the comeback trail for John, he directed a movie called Against the Wall. I was in it. Samuel Jackson was in it. The late Anne Heche. I'm so sorry to hear what's happened to her. And John was kind of my champion. He reached out to me and he said, I really want you for this movie. And I was like, John Frankenheimer was like, absolutely. Well, the guys at HBO, Bob Cooper, they weren't sure. So they said, well, he's going to have to audition. So John was like, well, Kyle, we're going to do this, and we're going to audition at my house, and we're going to make it happen. My John Frankenheimer and my John Huston are very, very similar, so don't pay any attention to that. Anyway, directed by John Frankenheimer. I love John, tough on his crew, but loved his actors. Being there, oh my God, this is great film. Peter Sellers' performance was, again, I borrowed, or was inspired by, let's say, his character for the Dougie character in Twin Peaks: A Return. The childlike quality that he had in his eyes, and just the wonder and the way he looked at the world, it was very helpful to me. And this one is great. I just cut my ROMA. Wow, that's heavy. Alfonso Cuarón. Such a beautiful movie, such a delicate movie. So I worked with Alfonso on a series called Believe a number of years ago, and it was such a pleasure. I had been working, I'd kind of had a lull in my career, I guess, and had been working, but I hadn't really worked with anyone of this caliber, of Alfonso's caliber, and I just had a couple days on the series, but something washed over me, like a remembrance. I said, oh, this reminds me of Lynch, this reminds me of Frankenheimer, this reminds me of the great directors that I work with, and I'd kind of lost that feeling somehow. And he gave it back to me, and I'll ever be forever grateful for that. Here's David Lynch. We can't go any more time without talking about David. So David and I, we have a long collaboration together, starting with Dune in '83, and then Blue Velvet, and then Twin Peaks. And he is a good friend, and I cherish that relationship, and then count myself incredibly lucky to have worked with him so frequently and collaborated with him. We have such a good time. It's not work at all. It's just playtime. But Elephant Man is just beautiful film, and I know that he felt a great affinity with that character, and John Hurt did an extraordinary job. And Anthony Hopkins, I worked with Anthony later on. We did a movie called The Trial together, And we spent 3 nights in Kutná Hora in Czechoslovakia, at that time Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic, filming in this cold, cold church. And we would basically do impersonations of actors. So I would do my best, and then he would do, oh my God, Clark Gable he was amazing, Clark Gable. And then we would do David Lynch together. So we'd be doing dueling Davids, because he worked on this one, and of course I knew David very well. So it was kind of like this. We were talking like this. And to hear Anthony Hopkins do a David Lynch, well, you haven't lived till you've heard that. Now this one, Blue Velvet, was kind of a rebirth for me, because we'd done Dune together in '83, and Dune didn't really turn out that well. In fact, I was kind of, after that, I felt like I was a pariah in the business. There was no work, no nothing. But David, bless his heart, he'd given me the script to Blue Velvet while we were filming Dune in Mexico City, and I read it, and I was like, whoa. This is very, very intense, and I really liked it, and I really identified with the character of Jeffrey. But David and I were planning to go shoot Blue Velvet right after Dune was released in '84, winter of '84. And because Dune didn't do so well, they postponed it, and so things happened, and then finally Blue Velvet came to pass in the summer of that year, in the summer of '85. We shot this in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we had such a lovely time. I mean, it was Dennis Hopper, Isabella Rossellini, Laura Dern, myself, Dean Stockwell, Brad Dourif. As traumatic as Dune was for him, and I know it was, Blue Velvet was a whole different reality, and we were in our element, and it was, and he came back to me. That's the point, I guess, is, we did Dune together, and he could easily have said, well, Kyle, he didn't really help the movie, and so I'm going to find somebody else. And he didn't do that. He wanted me, and I'll be forever grateful. Thanks, David. I actually have Blue Velvet, so I'm going to put this one back for someone else to find and experience and enjoy. I think I'm done. Thanks for having me. Got my bag. Ready to go.